Coming up on Valley News Live at 10, family and friends gathered to remember one of their own. Plus, for the first time since a historic verdict, some jurors from the Derek Chauvin case are speaking up. And a first alert weather day is in the works for this weekend. What you need to know before going out to trick or treat. Valley News Live at 10 starts right now.
This is Valley News Live at 10.
Good evening, I'm Kaylee Chella. Friends and family of 13-year-old Jacoby Blake gathered at Horizon Middle School in Moorhead to hold a candlelit vigil in his memory. Valley News Team's Alex Larson takes us to the emotional service.
Jacoby loved all of y'all. He had a lot of friends. I could see that. He couldn't wait to go to school. He's going to play basketball. He finished swimming. He finished his 6th level of swimming this year. And he was going to be a lifeguard this summer. Earn his own money so he can buy his own shoes, own clothes. He was a funny kid. He kept us laughing. He was a jokester. We're going to really, really, really miss him. So when you wake up in the morning, be kind to your mom, your dad, your sister, your brothers, your uncles, your aunts, strangers. Hold the door. Be nice to people because you might not have a chance to do it again. And I'm going to miss him dearly with all my heart and soul. And on the count of 3, I want everybody to say, Kobe! 1, 2, 3, Kobe! And I'm going to miss saying that. Waking up every morning to him. This is a dream. I'm in denial. And I don't know what's going to happen. So we're going to celebrate your time here. We're sad because we're not going to see you physically, but we know you're in our hearts.
It's a heartbreaking scene from a community in mourning. Jacoby's funeral will be held tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Well, it was a beautiful day today, but it looks like that nice weather won't be lasting through the weekend for trick-or-treaters. Hutch is in now with a look at our forecast. Hey, Hutch.
Hey, Kaylee, and good evening, everyone. We've been giving you that first alert to some changes coming for the weekend, and for some of us, they get here tomorrow. We're enjoying some starlit skies, though, provided by our view from our friends at Home of Economy. They're in the Devil's Lake Basin. Here's a look at our peak temperatures today. You believe low 60s in Carrington, also 61 in Jamestown. We enjoyed some upper 50s up and down the valley, mid 50s and a few low 50s in central Minnesota, the cool spot up there near Lake of the Woods. Now, as we go into the evening hours, some of the coldest weather off to the east as we have some clear skies there. We do have milder temperatures out to the west, and well, big changes. A cold front's going to make its way through, and by morning there will be some rain showers in our area, particularly up north, and that cold front is going to make things a little tricky on Halloween. Here's what you can plan for. 52 degrees on Saturday. It'll be very gusty out of the north, those north winds bringing temperatures in the 30s and wind chills in the 20s for trick-or-treaters. Hour by hour details here. Kaylee, in just a few moments.
Thanks so much, Hutch. Well, today the FDA authorized COVID-19 vaccines for children ages 5 to 11, but your child can't get the shot just yet. Vaccine advisors at the CDC will meet on November 2nd to discuss whether they'll recommend it, and then the CDC director will make that final decision. If it's approved, it will be the first COVID vaccine authorized in the U.S. for children under 12. Sanford Health says 97% of its workforce has complied with their vaccine mandate that goes into effect on Monday. Back in July, Sanford said it was mandating COVID vaccines for all of its employees. Sanford has 46 hospitals and more than 200 senior care locations in 26 states and 10 countries. The company has a total of about 48,000 employees, and those who are not fully vaccinated by the Monday deadline risk losing their job. The CDC recently expanded eligibility for COVID-19 booster shots, including those who are 65 and older and adults who work or live in high-risk settings. But that begs the question, what counts as a high-risk setting?
A lot of times what they mean is things like meatpacking plants and also healthcare organizations. So hospitals, long-term care associations, assisted living centers. They've defined it somewhat narrowly, but there's always some subjectivity to it.
Now, that list is more extensive. A recent survey also found that teachers could be included. To find out if you qualify for a booster, just ask your doctor. Jurors in the Derek Chauvin trial are speaking out for the first time. It comes months after the former Minneapolis police officer was convicted of murdering George Floyd. The jurors found Chauvin guilty of second-degree unintentional murder, third-degree murder, and second-degree manslaughter. 7 jurors sat down today to explain their thinking during those deliberations and described a light bulb moment.
At some point, I think it was Jody, I'm pretty sure it was Jody, said, wait a minute. Does the intended act of harm have to be the death of George Floyd, or can it be him not providing the life support?
I brought up to the fact that this is not what he did, but more or less what he didn't do. He did not provide life-saving measures for George Floyd when he knew that the guy was in pain.
Chauvin was sentenced in June to 22.5 years in prison. He does plan to appeal his conviction. A U.S. Capitol police officer charged in the January 6th insurrection has resigned from the force. Michael Riley pleaded not guilty earlier this month to 2 counts of obstruction of justice when he tried to help a rioter at the insurrection by informing him to remove incriminating photos off of his social media. Authorities say the accused rioter informed the FBI of their communications. The Supreme Court has agreed to review the EPA's ability to regulate greenhouse gases and address climate change. Republican-led states and coal producers claim a federal appeals court granted the EPA too much power, saying there were no limits on mandating standards. The Supreme Court's decision is a sign that the conservative majority is eager to seek limits for when Congress can delegate its authority to federal agencies. Wait times for passports are slowly headed back to normal. The State Department said today that wait times are down to about 8 to 11 weeks, and that's compared to mid-July when they were taking up to 18 weeks. The department blamed those delays on a backlog created by, you guessed it, the pandemic. No tricks, no treats, just burpees. That's what many people are scrolling past on social media this week, as several self-proclaimed experts tell their followers, if you're going to eat any candy this weekend, you have to earn it. But local health experts are urging you not to listen, saying you shouldn't punish yourself this Halloween weekend.
Good behaviors don't cancel out bad behaviors, and bad behaviors don't cancel out good behaviors.
It's one time a year, so pick that Halloween night, have your candy, and get over it the next day.
Both experts also urge you not to undereat or over-exercise in hopes of negating any of those extra calories, as it can lead to disordered eating. Instead, they say just pick up where you left off with your good diet and exercise habits after the holiday. Well, Halloween is this Sunday, which means people are heading to stores to buy their costumes, all of those procrastinators. From ghouls to goblins, there are many options out there. Valley News Live's Aaron Walling found out what costumes you might want to avoid if you're looking to be original this year.
Behind me is the Spirit Halloween store, and I spoke with an employee inside on what's the most popular costume ideas for Halloween 2021.
Most Halloween stores did really well this year because everybody's excited. Everybody's ready to get back out there.
Tori Hubbard is the assistant manager at Spirit Halloween and has seen many different costumes fly off the shelves. But this year has been mostly about the 80s and 90s classics.
80s horror, the Michael Myers, the Freddy Krueger, Jason, Chucky, Ghostface was a big one as well. Kid ones would be like Paw Patrol, Chucky, and Ghostface, like a lot of that as well.
For Hubbard, helping people find a costume for the holiday means a lot to him.
That is actually one of the reasons why I started working here. I love being able to come up, somebody that has an idea or no idea at all, and being able to, all right, what about this, what about this, what about this, and helping them out.
Hubbard shared with me what his favorite Halloween costume is of all time.
I have a set of wings that I have, and you pull them and the wings come up, and so I like being demons, dark stuff like that.
As a famous commercial would sing in Halloween 3, The Season of the Witch, it's 2 more days to Halloween. In Fargo, Aaron Walling, Valley News Live.
Great story, Aaron. Well, I do happen to fall in line with the 80s costumes. My favorite one is very specific. My mom dressed up as Maleficent back in the 80s, and I still think about it to this day. Well, it's a busy night in high school sports. Our news team will bring you the highlights and the scores right after the break.
But next, it's been a beautiful close to the work week today and a gorgeous setting sun. We have changes on the way. It's Halloween. Yeah, we'll untangle that forecast right after this.